to many of baseball's biggest stars. Owners of the best record in the majors, the Yankees keep rolling toward October. The Red Sox have been a disappointment thus far, but still harbor postseason dreams. Can a turnaround begin on a Saturday afternoon in the Bronx? And Saturday afternoon just became Saturday evening. There are some of the faces, some of the players, and there's a new face for the Yankees. Ichiro is in this ball game. Adrian Gonzalez and the Red Sox taking on the Yankees at a rain-soaked Yankee Stadium field here in the Bronx. And now welcome to the broadcast booth, everybody. Right at the end of the anthem, right on cue, Tim McCarver is coming up. My name is Joe Buck. Kenny Rosenthal a bit later. You know the story about the Yankees. They have baseball's best record. They have an 8.5 game lead in the AL East, and they're rolling right now. They won last night, and they've only lost one game to the Boston Red Sox so far this season. On the other side, the Red Sox are in last place in the AL East. They're in that big mix for that second wild card spot, but that mix is big, and they have a lot of teams to jump over. And while the trading deadline approaches on Tuesday, Tim McCarver, it doesn't matter who they can add or what they're going to do if their top two guys in the rotation, John Lester, who pitches tonight, and Josh Beckett, don't pitch well.
Yeah, Joe, a lot of bad things have happened to the Red Sox this year, perhaps none more disturbing than their starting pitching, particularly Josh Beckett and John Lester. John Lester with 5 wins with 3 days left in July. And think about it, coming into this season, he had the best winning percentage of any active pitcher in baseball.
He gets the ball tonight for the Red Sox. CC Sabathia gets the ball tonight for the Yankees. We're back in prime time. Let's go. Baseball coming up after the break tonight for you right here on Fox. And the Yankees, game 2 of their weekend 3-game set. They play tomorrow night And so far, as I mentioned, that rambling open that made absolutely no sense, I don't think. The Yankees have lost only once to the Red Sox this year, and that was back at Fenway Park. Last night, a 10-3 win for New York. Phil Hughes over Aaron Cook, a grand slam by Granderson in that game. And Bobby Valentine and the Boston Red Sox are in the cellar in the AL East. And when you look at this field, I mean, they're trying to somehow get that area where they had to pull the tarp off the field to drain out beyond the shortstop area in shallow left field. And I mean, this place was absolutely poured on as the skies opened up at about 5 o'clock. And if we start this on time, which it appears we are, at least our new start time, it'll be just over 2 hours of a delay. There's Ichiro with his Yankee pinstripes on, and off we go here in just a minute. Let's give you, first of all, some business, and the opening pitch will be brought to you by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. And we'll give you the starting lineup for the Boston Red Sox, brought to you by Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live Moss. Here it is, a new look. Here come the Yankees onto the field. Look at that, Jacoby Ellsbury leads it off in center. Pedro Siriaco is batting in the number 2 spot. He's the DH. Who would have thunk that? Dustin Pedroia hits third at second base. Adrian Gonzalez cleans up. No David Ortiz on the DL with a strained Achilles. Then it's Cody Ross. Will Middlebrooks at third. Kelly Shopik does the catching. Mike Aviles is the shortstop, and Daniel Nava is in left field batting in the number 9 spot. Here's the Yankees defensively. Andrew Jones in left. Curtis Granderson in center. Ichiro is out in right with Jason Nix at third. A-Rod's out for maybe up to 8 weeks with a broken left hand. Derek Jeter at short. Robinson Cano is at second. Mark Teixeira at first. Chris Stewart does the catching. The DH in this game is their typical catcher, Russell Martin, and there is their ace, CC Sabathia, who's 10-3, and he has pitched well since coming off the DL with that strained groin.
One of the top pitchers in the game is CC Sabathia, and it's been interesting to follow his career and how he has changed with the times. He used to be a pitcher to right-handed batters that threw only cut fastballs, balls on the inside part of the plate. But as our scouting report says, he has indeed changed with the times with that changeup away, the two-seamer. He works in and out very well. Only occasionally will he throw that breaking ball.
Ichiro in his first home series with the Yankees, he's out in right. He said during the week when he was traded from Seattle and just switching clubhouses, I hope when I get to Yankee Stadium I play well enough that they'll want to serenade me with a roll call out in right field. And Ichiro got that last night, and they'll get it momentarily when this first inning begins. It's time for our Ford Go Further keys to the game.
It's pretty clear for the Red Sox. They're looking for a strong performance out of John Lester. And as far as the Yankees are concerned, don't change a thing.
They have the best record in the game. They have an 8.5 game lead in their division. There's John Lester. Struggles or not, there isn't a team in baseball that wouldn't want John Lester in their rotation. He's got to figure it out. And we'll tell you more about what he needs to do when he takes the mound in the bottom of the inning. But as it is, Jacoby Ellsbury, who is back since we last saw these guys a week before the All-Star break, missed basically 3 months with a partially separated shoulder, and now he's set to go, and so are we, about 2 hours after we were scheduled to begin. Trading deadline's coming up on Tuesday. Kenny Rosenthal is with us, and we'll hear a lot from Ken tonight as we figure out what's happened and what will happen around the major leagues with that deadline coming up. Off we go. And after that long delay, strike one is into Ellsbury, and here we go. Roll call.
Ichiro's telling the crowd out there, try not to make it between pitches.
That's foul. Strike two. You
don't want to be tipping your cap while the pitch is on its way home.
That was Andrew Jones. Did we miss Ichiro? They seem like they're working from nearest to farthest. There, he did it briefly. An exciting moment here at Yankee Stadium. Here's an 0-2 pitch and a breaking ball misses, ball one. Here it is. Very emotional.
Last night he tipped his cap, not today.
Here comes a 1-2 pitch from Sabathia. A breaking ball, he went around, and the night starts with a strikeout of Jacoby Ellsbury. And Sabathia, with that 10-3 record and the 10th best ERA in the AL, starts his night with a K.
In that scouting report, we should have said that when he does throw the breaking ball, he will primarily throw it to left-handed hitters, and he gets Ellsbury on the curve.
So Pedro Siriaco, who burst onto the Boston Red Sox radar a couple of Saturdays ago. That was on the 7th, just prior to the All-Star game. Had a 4-hit game, and he has had 4 of them. First pitch is a strike. It's Siriaco now with Dustin Pedroia to follow. And with 1 out, nobody on, here comes an 0-1 pitch. Strike 2. And that's just the state of the Red Sox right now, with 22 guys on the disabled list during the course of the year. And the latest is arguably the most dangerous DH that's ever manned that position, David Ortiz. And he's back with a ball club out of a walking boot, but on the DL with a strained Achilles. So they're down to Pedro Siriaco as the DH. And he lines base hit into right. And on that wet grass, it takes a bounce and gets into the glove of Ichiro. 1 on, 1 out.
A little bit too good a pitch by CC on that 0-2 count. He wanted that ball off the plate away. He finds the plate with it. And Siriaco with the first hit, first base runner of the game.
Now it's Dustin Pedroia, who is a career .320 hitter against Yankee pitching, and has a personal 14-game hitting streak against the Yankees that's alive right now. 1 on, 1 out, trying to give the Red Sox a jolt here in the first inning, and it's up and away, ball 1. Adrian Gonzalez on deck. Here's a 1-0. Line drive, base hit into right. And with 1 out, back-to-back hits by Siriaco and Pedroia. And it's 2 on for Adrian Gonzalez, who has been a red-hot hitter for Boston.
Yeah, that ball hit too hard, and Ichiro with too good an arm. Not the fielder he once was, but still with that powerful arm. At one time, Joe, I thought from the right fielders that I had seen, only Roberto Clemente had a better arm than Ichiro.
And soon he'll be playing left field.
Yeah, right.
When Nick Swisher returns, Swisher's got a strained hip flexor. He was hoping he'd be in the lineup today. He's not. They're thinking tomorrow night, as long as the weather cooperates, and that will shift Ichiro, who has never played in the regular season in the big leagues, in left field, over to the other side of the outfield. With 2 on, 1 out, a chance for the Red Sox, and Adrian Gonzalez, who has the best average in baseball with runners in scoring position, takes a breaking ball for strike 1. There it is, leading the major leagues with a .406 average, with a chance to knock somebody in from second to third. Back-to-back singles, and now Gonzalez rips one into right. That ball will get down, go to the wall. Siriaco will score. It will send Pedroia to third, and an RBI double by Adrian Gonzalez, and the Red Sox are on the board against Sabathia.
Red Sox scoring in the top of the first inning last night. A home run by Dustin Pedroia. They strike first today. Adrian Gonzalez continues his torrid hitting with runners in scoring position. Good play by Ichiro. 3 straight hits to right field for the Red Sox.
2 right-handed hitters going the other way, and now Gonzalez rips one. If one hops the wall, Cody Ross could make this a big first inning for John Lester, who is waiting to take the mound in the bottom of the inning. Cody Ross takes a ball up and away. There's John Lester, who has that record 5-8. As we said at the opening of this telecast, the Red Sox with 13-24 this season in games started by Beckett and Lester. Big reason why they are so far out in the AL East. Here's a 1-0. 2-0.
If I were Cody Ross, I'd look for a changeup right here. It's kind of a free pitch with first base open. Normally you don't want to pitch around a hitter in the first inning because the more base runners, the bigger chance for a big inning. We'll see what CC throws. I'm guessing changeup away, low and away to Ross.
It was an 86-mile-an-hour pitch that is jerked foul into the upper deck, strike 1.
I don't think he got the changeup. I think CC was trying to hump up on that ball, but looked like a sailing fastball in on the hands. He tried to get it on the hands, but didn't to Cody Ross.
It's been said 1,000 times, so here's 1,001, but here's the pitch. First, the 2-1 pitch to Ross was second and third, 1 out, and a foul out of play right side. These Major League Baseball players and starting pitchers are such creatures of habit. Getting geared up for a 4 o'clock start, then waiting around for 2 hours and going out to the bullpen. And just when he got out there and they took the tarp off the field, it started to rain again. So he stood around in the bullpen, and now the first inning has been a problem for him this season, and he's got 1 run in, 2 runners on, and a 2-2 count on Ross. Little pop up out behind second. Cano goes out, Granderson in, and that won't do anything. 2 out. So Ross was up on the count 2-0, had that free pitch you talked about, and at the end of the at bat he goes back to the dugout and did not produce a run.
It's good pitching by Sabathia, throwing that sailing fastball in on the hands to Cody Ross. He jams Cody. Good play by Granderson, making the right guy field the ball. Good play all the way around by the Yankees.
So now second and third, 2 out, and the rookie Will Middlebrooks, who started out so well, especially power wise, when he got called up from AAA Pawtucket. Euclid was injured at the time. Then you know what's happened next, and here's a double into left center field. It will score 2. A big start for the Red Sox in a game they need. It's 3-0 Boston on a 2-out, 2-run double by Will Middlebrooks. And that's got Valentine all pumped up in a 3-0 first inning.
Will Middlebrooks just picks up his teammate Cody Ross. First pitch fastball, Middlebrooks swinging, laces it to left center field to play 2 more Red Sox, and a happy Bobby Valentine greeting both Pedroia and Gonzalez.
One of the things we talked about with Bobby Valentine before the game, I just said, what's changed since the last time we saw you? He said, well, Dustin Pedroia's swinging the bat better. And that guy behind him is such a key member of this club, and really is important a piece as you'll find across baseball, and he gets this team going when he's hitting. They seem twice as tough to beat, and his base hit set up the opportunity for Gonzalez. His RBI double set up that man, Will Middlebrooks, who's made it 3-0. And now the 0-1 pitch to Kelly Shopik, the catcher today for the Red Sox. Up and away, a ball and a strike.
If the Red Sox had one guy coming up, a young prospect, I would tell that young prospect, see Dustin Pedroia, do everything he does. And you won't go wrong. Plays the game the right way.
And he had to have been 2 hours before the game, was just sitting in the dugout here at Yankee Stadium, just taking it in. He loves being here at the park. 1-1 pitch is up and away, and Sabathia does not have His good stuff here in the first inning. He's given up 3, and that one almost got away from Stewart. So the count 2-1. Long first inning for Sabathia, and that one's in for strike 2. 2-2.
Now, Joe, you talk about first inning runs. It seems to be a growing trend in baseball that more teams are scoring off better pitchers in the first inning.
It's been a big issue for Beckett. He didn't have that happen to him in Texas. There's Pedroia, Patton, Siriaco on the back, and it was a problem for Lester in his last start against Toronto.
5 runs in the first last Sunday.
Crowd gets into it. 2-2 pitch. Over but low, a full count. Pitch count starting to pile up for Sabathia here in the first inning, and I've already made Tim McCarver look at me funny when I said pitch count. He is so sick of that phrase.
Yes, I am.
This will be number 23 of this first inning. 6'7", 290-pound Sabathia. 3-2 pitch. Inning is over. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Sabathia, but 3 runs for the Red Sox, which makes Bobby V smile and clap in the dugout. 3-0 after a half. Starting lineup for the Yankees brought to you by Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live Moss. Derek Jeter leads off at short. Curtis Granderson in center. Mark Teixeira hits third. Robinson Cano cleans up. Andrew Jones in left. Jason Nix at third. Russell Martin is the DH. Ichiro Suzuki in right. Chris Stewart does the catching and bats in the number 9 spot. And here is John Lester, and you see the numbers. They're not good. He's given up a ton of runs. ERA at basically 5.5, and this lefty's got a world of talent, and it's hard to believe that that first note is on there, but that is the case.
It really is. And Bobby Valentine telling us something that I've never heard in a meeting with the manager, that Lester will intentionally try to pitch up in the strike zone today on occasion, and of course just win, baby. Old Al Davis line from the Oakland Raiders, and that's what Lester wants to do for the Sox today.
Yep, Red Sox need it. First pitch is strike to Jeter, who's hitting .311. 8 homers, 28 RBIs, 7 stolen bases on the season, a ball and a strike.
Of course, I don't think Lester will pitch up in the strike zone unless the count's 0-2 or 1-2. perhaps knock a Yankee hitter back off the plate.
The 1-1. Down and in, 2-1. I think the summation of the feeling we got from Bobby Valentine is he wants Lester to make hitters feel less comfortable at the plate.
Right.
Whether it's changing the eye level or driving them off the plate with inside pitches, that's on the outside corner, knee high, and it's 2-2.
You move their feet and you move their eye level. They've been too comfortable against Lester over his last 3 outings. He's 0-3 in 3 starts.
With an ERA over 15. Here comes a 2-2. Jammed him. 2 hops to Middlebrooks. Backs up as he throws a strike. 1 away. And Jeter, who has 309 career hits against the Red Sox, mixed into his over 3,200, is out number 1. Here is the defense for Boston. Nava's in left. Ellsbury in center. Cody Ross is in right. Middlebrooks, Aviles, Pedroia, Gonzalez around the infield, and Shopik does the catching for John Lester. Here is Curtis Granderson, who has 2 grand slams this season. One of them last night in the 8th. That's a strike on the inside corner. 2 of those home runs have been with the bases loaded. 2 of the 28. Ball and a strike. It's been such a good fit for Granderson in this park. Hangs over the plate and can shoot the ball out to right. That short right field porch here at Yankee Stadium. Here's a 1-1. Skips in, 2-1.
I think the one thing that stands out also is his power against left-handed pitching. 24 home runs against left-handers over the last 2 years. That improvement, the best in baseball.
A shift on the infield as they play Granderson to pull, and that's up and in, 3-1. I don't remember seeing that dramatic a shift.
I think Bobby Valentine employing the count right here. He's more apt to pull with a 3-1 count.
And he does right into it. Pedroia scoots to his right. 2 out. And with the bases empty, Mark Teixeira will walk to the plate. And he's been hot. The average doesn't knock you over, but he was hitting only 244 for the first 3 months. He's hit 319 in July, which is a great month for Teixeira, and July has been an unbelievable month for the Oakland A's. 17-3. And right in the race in the AL West and for the wild card spots in the American League. There's a strike to Teixeira. A man from the Bay Area, Sabathia, after giving up 3 in the first, watches Teixeira, if he was watching, fall into the hole 0-2.
CC from Vallejo, California, and is a season ticket holder of the Oakland Raiders. That's twice that we've mentioned the Oakland Raiders and Al Davis in the first inning.
That's a record by the old Hall of Famer to my right. There's a strikeout of Teixeira. Does it feel different?
No.
But you're in the hall. You're at Cooperstown.
Yeah.
Does it feel different?
No, it doesn't.
Are you sure?
Yes, I am.
Okay. 3-0 after 1. Sponsored by Ford. Go further. And by Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live Moss. Beautiful look at the outside of Yankee Stadium, and there are the two starters, two lefties. Lester had a perfect first. Sabathia did not. Mike Aviles will lead it off. Then Daniel Nava, Ellsbury. 8, 9, and 1 hitters, and that's in at the knees. Strike one on Aviles. He's driven in 51, and that is the second highest total among shortstops in baseball. Who's first? Ian Desmond of the first place Nationals. That's off the end of the bat. Strike two. Aviles, a career .298 hitter against left-handed pitching. Trying to get on in front of the switch hitter Nava. The 0-2. Outside. I know Ken Rosenthal has had spotty cell coverage during the course of the day. Bad time for old Kenny to not have the world at his fingertips, but we'll check in with him during this second inning about what's shaking in baseball trade-wise. One out. But right now we go to Matt Vasgersian for a DirecTV game break.
Joe, Dodgers-Giants early returns on LA's Hanley Ramirez acquisition quite good. Game-winning two-run home run in extra innings last night. He's added an RBI double today in what smells like a Dodger runaway. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV. Joe, back to you and Tim in the Bronx.
All right, Matt. So it's a two-game lead right now for the San Francisco Giants over the Dodgers in the NL West. You've got all these teams that are alive in the American League. Heck, it seems like everybody's fighting for that second playoff spot.
Seems like everybody's in first place and everybody's in last place.
It does. And you know, the funny thing is, with the second wild card spot, it can do one of two things. It can either give you a chance, or it can prolong your misery and maybe delay your ability to retool and improve your organization because you get tricked into thinking you're still in it.
Confuse your decision-making process.
And you hang on to players that you normally wouldn't.
Right.
And if you don't make it, then you're left with a bad team.
Sure.
1 ball, 1 strike on Nava. Strike two, Kenny Rosenthal. You agree with that? It seems like everybody thinks they're alive. Not everybody, but the majority of teams here in 2012.
There definitely is that aspect of it, Joe, but there's something else at work here as well. The Angels last night, they trade for Zach Greinke. Well, why? Because winning the division is now at a premium. You don't want to just settle for the wild card and get stuck in that one-game knockout round.
Yeah, and we'll talk about Greinke and a team like the Yankees that may have to face Zach Greinke, Jared Weaver. A strikeout is out number 2 and 3 in a row. I think Sabathia regrouped in the dugout, and he's come out firing strikes, 2 down. Here's a look at Zach Greinke, and the right-hander. His numbers with Milwaukee, the Cy Young Award winner with the Kansas City Royals in '09. And he has a career ERA against the AL West of 2.89, and out of nowhere, they're the Oakland A's, and so you could have 3 teams out of the West make the playoffs this season in the American League. But that team, they just got a lot better by getting Zach Greinke and adding to that rotation. There's a strike to Ellsbury, who struck out his first time.
Angels only 4 games behind the Rangers, and Oakland 4.5 games behind Texas. Oakland has emerged as one of the big stories in baseball right now.
Sabathia could strike out the side here in the second. The A's 5 games under 500 and 13 out of first place in the AL West through the end of June.
Ex-Red Sox Josh Reddick having a terrific year.
Andrew Bailey, the closer, that The Red Sox got through to hitters today, and he's on his way back. But will it be too late? Here comes an 0-2 for Sabathia, trying to strike out his 4th in a row. Came close. Ball 1. Siriaco on deck. Cano, Andrew Jones, and Jason Nix. Joe Girardi's crew in the bottom of the inning. The 1-2 is popped up left side. Foul ball. And the Yankees, I'm sure, holding their breath watching Andrew Jones navigate that tarp area down the left field line with a wet track.
Yeah, Andrew tiptoeing his way right in front of the tarp. Very, as you can tell, very muddy down there, and a tough time in left center field. That's where most of the water came off the tarp.
Crowd buzzing for a strikeout. That's foul. Let's keep going down to Kenny. Keep him busy on a day like this. Kenny, how about Ellsbury? You think he sticks with the Red Sox? Is this somebody that could be traded? He's under control for another year.
He wouldn't be traded right now, Joe, but in the offseason, it's something they could explore. The problem with that is this offseason, there are going to be a number of quality free agent center fielders on the market. B.J. Upton is one, Michael Bourne the other, and there's also Shane Victorino. So you can sign a player like that without giving up any talent. The problem with Ellsbury for the Red Sox long term is that he is only under control for one more season. He's represented by Scott Boras. He is unlikely to sign an extension because Boras generally wants his clients to go determine their value on the open market.
Kenny, thanks. Bit of a battle now between Ellsbury and Sabathia. This one to the right side. It's a foul ball.
That was close. I think it hit just on the other side of the line. That was very, very close. But a good view by first base umpire Brian O'Nora.
Got it right.
Yep.
Another factor for Ellsbury and the Red Sox is their top prospect seems to be Jackie Bradley Jr., who's a left-handed hitting outfielder at Double-A. Had been slumping recently, has been hitting his way out of that slump after about a 370 start to the season. Here's a 1-2. Just stuck the bat out and checks on Nix over at third, and a 1-2-3 inning for Sabathia. Part of the order coming up for the Yankees in the bottom of the second at Yankee Stadium. 3-0 Boston. waiting. Grab some buds. Bottom of the second rolls in at Yankee Stadium, and that means Cano, Andrew Jones, and Jason Nix against John Lester, who had a 1-2-3 first inning that culminated with a Mark Teixeira strikeout. So here's Cano, who's doing it all, playing brilliantly at second base, can cover more ground and get outs than any second baseman in the game, and hitting for power and average. He takes ball one. .124 hits on the season. That's the third highest total in the American League, and it's a ball and a strike. Had a 23-game hitting streak that was snapped during the week, but 28 of his last 29. The red-hot Andrew Jones waits on deck. Here's a 1-1. Strike two.
Yankees with 32 come from behind wins this year. When it's 1, 2, or 3 runs that they're behind early in the game, it doesn't seem like they're behind. And the biggest reason is at the plate right now. Like a cobra with that bat, can strike from anywhere.
Here's a 1-2. Not close. 2-2. This is a Yankee lineup missing Alex Rodriguez, who turned 37 yesterday. And during the road trip, was hit by a Felix Hernandez pitch on his left hand with a changeup, and it broke his hand. The 2-2. Checked his swing on a pitch in the dirt, a full count. Talked to Girardi before the game, and he said we'll probably x-ray Alex's hand about every 10 days and gauge how the healing process unfolds. And there's the injury.
Boy, that hurts.
88-mile-an-hour changeup. And expected to miss 6 to 8 weeks. Here's a 3-2. Into center, and Ellsbury is there to his left. One away. Here comes Andrew Jones, and he has been part of a combination that have been bargains, no doubt, for the Yankees this season. They've split time in the outfield and left, with Swisher and right, Granderson in center. But once they lost Brett Gardner, who was hurt in the middle of April, you're looking at low salaries for a lot of production out of the left field spot, which is where Ichiro will go, which will benefit the bench and give these two older players a chance to catch a break here in the second half. That's in the dirt, ball one.
I think all Yankee fans are used to seeing Andrew Jones trying to pull everything, and he does. Trying to take advantage of that 318 left field porch here at Yankee Stadium.
On the outside corner, strike one. Last 4 games against the Red Sox, 4 home runs. As Andrew Jones, with that big swing, almost went down after taking that cut, strike two.
That's what you have to do. You have to pitch him inside to prevent him from bailing out and making that pitch on the outside corner right in the fat part of his bat.
Back in there again, a 91-mile-per-hour pitch, and it's still 1-2. 10-time Gold Glove Award winner at the plate, 10-time Gold Glove Award winner on the bench. And due up in a couple more hitters, batting 8th, Ichiro Suzuki, as this one is hit a mile in the air. If it ever comes down, it'll be the second out. 2 gone. Take a look at the players on the bench for the Yankees first. Chavez, Ibanez, switch hitters, Ramiro Pena and Nick Swisher. And on the other side, Ryan Sweeney and Carl Crawford, the left-handed batters, and the lefty Sabathia getting the start, and the switch hitters Punto and Saltalamacchia. Good history for Shopik against Sabathia, so it's Shopik in the lineup, and he flashes the signs as Jason Nix digs his way in with 2 out, nobody on, strike 1. Fitting, an Olympic reference, as that is fouled out of play off to the right, 0-2.
How about Ben Sheets, who won his 3rd game for the Atlanta Braves last night? Ben Sheets beat Cuba for the gold medal back in 2000 in Sydney.
It's been a nice comeback for Ben.
Yeah.
4 games out are the Braves, but right there in the playoff hunt with 55 wins, and there are the 3 starts. Working his way back from injury, getting a chance with Atlanta. They've needed him. 3-0, ERA of 0.5. 1-2 pitch is ripped. Foul. Leading the NL East, the Washington Nationals. That franchise was in the playoffs in '81 as the Expos. There hasn't been postseason baseball in our nation's capital since the 30s. And they just keep on winning. That good young team led by Davey Johnson. Here's a 1-2. 2-2.
28 years ago, Davey Johnson, the manager of the New York Mets, when he had Dwight Gooden at 19 years old, Darryl Strawberry at 22. This year, he has Steven Strasburg and Bryce Harper at 19. Have to draw that comparison.
Here's a 2-2 pitch. Nix grounds another foul. And we talked about it a couple of Saturdays ago, or maybe we talked about it during the All-Star game, the idea that the Nationals are going to shut down Strasburg after he hits a magical innings pitched number at some point this second half of the season. For 160, 165, it may get extended. That's strike 3, and Tom Hallion enjoyed ringing up Jason Nix. Pulled a groin. 3-0 Red Sox after 2. Back after this from your local Fox station. Ball presented by Budweiser. Pedro Siriaco is first up. Pedro got a hit in the first inning that started the 3-run rally. They're pinched in on the corners of the infield. Siriaco almost came out of his shoes. Strike one. We saw Siriaco on the 7th on that Saturday, and he was impressive, not only getting 4 hits, but playing a very good shortstop, and he can run. Finally getting a chance to play with a little regularity. DHing today, and he takes inside ball 1.
Played such a fabulous game at shortstop defensively in that game on July 7th. That's after playing mostly second base for Pawtucket, the AAA affiliate of the Red Sox.
Here's a 1-1. Shows bunt, drops it down foul. When we talked to Bobby Valentine about Siriaco, you asked him, you like him, right? You liked him in spring training. He said, well, he hit .417. He was easy to like. And they kept him in the organization for depth, and here he is in July as the DH for the Red Sox in a game they need at Yankee Stadium. Red Sox 2 games under 500, and Siriaco has a base hit to right, fouls it to right, still 1-2. There's that flashback way back to the 7th of July. He did everything. High breaking ball that he bunted for a base hit. In that 4-hit game. Flashed some leather at short. He did it all. 1-2 pitch is fly to center. Granderson into his left, one away here in the 3rd inning, and that is now 5 in a row retired by Sabathia. Batter will be Pedroia, who singled and scored his first time up. Red Sox trying to avoid this being the 3rd straight year they've missed the playoffs. Last year with that collapse in September cost them a spot. And this year, while they're just 5.5 games out of the second wild card spot and alive that way, they are, if you want to seed the teams with regard to record in the American League, they're 11th of the 14 teams in the AL. So they would have to leapfrog a lot of teams to get in. Here's the 0-1. That is foul. Strike 2.
I don't think last September has been totally erased from the Red Sox memory, either from the fan standpoint or the players. Not only because of what happened, but how it happened and the fallout after it happened.
Here's the 0-2. That's where Stewart wanted it. Upstairs at 93, ball 1. It cost Terry Francona his job. He's now settled in nicely in the world of television. And will be here tomorrow night. Here is a 1-2 from Sabathia. Pedroia takes outside. 2-2.
Two strikes. Pedroia tries to go the other way. He's very adept at doing so. That's why you pitch him inside. Don't let him do that.
Popped up into right. Ichiro can put it in his pocket for out number 2. And we go to Matt Vasgersian for a DirecTV game break. Matt.
Joe, I understand you were wondering how the Kansas City-Seattle game was going to finish up. Tom Wilhelmsen retires Alex Gordon for the final out of the afternoon. Seattle's won 3 in a row. They're 4-2 without Ichiro. He was the problem, apparently. If you call yourself a sportsman, you got to get DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV. Back to Joe and Tim in the Bronx.
Yeah, you're right. Let's get rid of the All-Star, 10-time All-Star, former Rookie of the Year, MVP in 01. The only time the Mariners got to the postseason with Ichiro there. Here's one to the right of Cano. Ichiro is in the Bronx, and we'll see him hit second in the bottom of this third inning as we go there. Still 3-0. Red Sox on top. Sports is proud to support Boys and Girls Clubs of America, a place where youth can reach their full potential as productive, caring, responsible citizens. To learn more, please visit greatfutures.org/Fox Sports. Russell Martin took a ball low. He homered last night. Home runs are pretty good. The average is not, and it will go down a tick as he flies into right for Cody Ross. Catches it off to the side. Oddly enough, one out, and here comes Ichiro. What'd you think of this pickup, this hit machine, as you look at the stats and the accomplishments for Ichiro for the Yankees?
Big hand for him. 200+ hits, 10 straight years, a Hall of Famer. 10 Gold Gloves. We talked about that earlier. I think it's similar, the Yankees picking up Ichiro, as it was when the Cardinals picked up Rafael Furcal last year. Everybody thought he was through, and this year he started the All-Star game. Now, I'm not saying that Ichiro will do that, but if there's anything left, Brian Cashman, the general manager of New York, and Joe Girardi, their manager, decided if there's anything left, we want to see it in a Yankee uniform.
He's got such a unique style of hitting, almost moving as the pitch comes in. He was so good, almost. He would have to be considered one of the fastest ever down to first earlier in his career, just almost getting a running start out of the batter's box. Counts 1-1 strike from Lester. And that's strike 2.
You could see that approach right there. You've heard, of course, of the strategy employed when you hit and run. With Ichiro, it's almost run and hit. He does it himself.
Good pitch there by Lester. Hit the outside corner, which was open, and now he just sticks the bat out. And it's caught by Aviles, 2 down. Talking to Steve Horner, editorial consultant, about him, Ichiro, before the game, and he mentioned the infield hits and how this was a guy that in his days with Seattle, when he was rolling and burst onto the scene in 2001, doing everything for the Mariners. He averaged over 50 infield hits a season, a lot of bunt base hits. He's on pace for right around 30 infield hits this year, and he has only one bunt base hit. Yet he's still quick down the line, and he has stolen 16 bases, which gives the Yankees a speed threat that they were lacking with the injury to Brett Gardner.
He was doing the same thing with the Oryx Blue Wave in Japan prior to signing with the Seattle Mariners.
Chris Stewart at the plate, took a ball, now another 2-0. Stewart, a .318 hitter here in his first year with the Yankees, the backup catcher. So Jesus Montero went deep for Seattle in that game. He was the player the Yankees traded to get Michael Pineda, a big hard throwing right-hander that went down with a shoulder injury in spring training, and at least here in 2012 they got nothing out of that deal. That was a big move in the offseason. 2-1 pitch is hit well in the air to left, back at the wall, it's gone. Home run, Stewart, his first with the Yankees, and it's a 3-1 game. Chris Stewart goes deep, and the Yankees, who score over 50% of their runs with a home run ball, just got another.
Fastball inside part of the plate, and Stewart puts the Yankees on the board. His fourth major league home run. That ball down and in, and Chris jumped on it.
Here's Jeter. To the shortstop, Aviles gobbles it up, throws him out. A run in the inning and a home run by Stewart. 3-1 ball game after 3 in the Bronx. That is a 12-second look at the last about 3 hours here at Yankee Stadium. It was ugly. It was actually not raining at the original start time, just after 4 o'clock here in New York, but wisely they held off instead of getting these pitchers into the ball game. Then the rain hit, and I mean, it came down, as you saw in that little piece. Had a little sun just when we began at A hair after 6 o'clock, and now it's Cody Ross leading it off in the fourth. 3-1. Red Sox on top. Here's a 1-0 from Sabathia. Changed up on him. Ball and a strike. Sabathia has retired 7 straight. Biggest swing of the game so far, the 2-out 2-run double by Will Middlebrooks, who's on deck. Made it a 3-run first inning for the Red Sox. Here's a 1-1. Good pitch. Tailing away, and that's strike 2.
That's vintage Sabathia. The 1-ball, no strike changeup, followed by the disappearing fastball. Good 2-seamer out of the strike zone.
Here's a 1-2. 2-2. CC has 186 career wins, but just 7 of them against the Red Sox. He's 7-11 against Boston. But since coming to the Yankees, 69-26, which is the best winning percentage all time for the Yankees, with a minimum of 75 decisions. He has been paid a lot, and he has been worth it. That one is handled by Nix, 1 out. And today's game is sponsored by DirecTV. Now get DirecTV's best offer of the year. And by Jaguar. See the new model year lineup at your local Jaguar retailer. Here's Middlebrooks. With 1 out, nobody on, the rookie third baseman takes a pitch down and away. When you look at the rookie stat page, and we're given all these stats prior to a ball game, they can fill a packet that's about 20 pages deep. You look at the list of all the rookie offensive numbers, and while Middlebrooks is right there in the power department, 3rd among rookies in home runs, 3rd in RBIs, 3rd in extra base hits, it just becomes that much more remarkable the kind of season the 20-year-old Mike Trout is having with the Angels.
It really does, doesn't it?
He's hitting .354. He's got 20 doubles. He's got 112 hits. He didn't come up at the beginning of the year. He's number 2 in RBIs to Cespedes of the Oakland A's. It's just stunning.
Sometimes you're a rookie at the wrong time. You have no shot at being a rookie of the year because a guy like Mike Trout comes along.
Well, Trout may do what Ichiro did in 01 and win them both. Rookie of the year, MVP.
Like Fred Lynn did with the Red Sox back in 1975.
That's a 1-out walk handed out by Sabathia. 1 on 1 out, and Shopik will be the hitter. How impressed were you when we had our little sit-down meeting with Mike Trout during the All-Star game?
Well, I'll tell you, he's tough. He's tough not to be impressed. That wide body. I mean, that's the first thing that impressed me. Those shoulders. I mean, it's how broad he is. Not necessarily how strong he looks, but how broad he is.
Shopik grounds one to third. Might be out at second, and no chance to turn 2. Out at second. But once Cano dropped it, double play chance was gone. 2 out, and it would have been close anyway.
In the act of throwing, ball not hit hard, but Cano, realizing it's going to be close, tried to get it out of the glove too quickly, and then dropped it. But he had to hurry the throw if there were any chance for the double play.
If there's one second baseman that could turn that double play,
yep,
that's the guy.
That's right.
Flat-footed, or when he makes that play to his right across his body, he is unique. 1 on 2 out for Mike Aviles, who struck out his first time, and now chops to Jeter. The flip, the out. Bottom of the fourth, Yankee Stadium. Yankees coming up. And they will send Granderson to share a Cano. Down by 2. Here tonight for John Lester, you look at his numbers. He's allowed 1 run on 1 hit. It was a home run by Chris Stewart last inning. It's a 3-1 game. And it is a lot different than the bottom line if you caught it. 0-3 with a 15.32 ERA over his previous 3 starts. So he needed it. The Red Sox needed it out of him, and he is providing it as Granderson takes a breaking ball, a good one, for strike 1. Matchup of Felix Brandt against Hiroki Kuroda tomorrow night in the finale of this 3-game set. Yankees have won 6 of 7 against Boston so far this season. That's in the dirt, a ball and a strike. Granderson grounded out his first time. You talked about how much better he's been against left-handed pitching with power. Been some kind of turnaround for Granderson since he came to the Yankees. That's strike 2. Between 2004 and 2010, he hit .215 against left-handers, 20 home runs, but 777 at bats. The last 2 years, a different story as he fights it off, fouls it off, and counts still 1-2 with those 24 home runs. .259 average compared to .215 before it, and 316 at bats.
And the person for whom he was traded, Austin Jackson, a budding superstar with Detroit.
Here's a 1-2. Down and in, 2-2. Leading off the inning, Granderson hits a rocket foul outside first. A nice play by the ball boy down the right field line. Still 2-2. Looked it into his glove.
Heel to webbing.
It's like a tiny A-Rod down there. That's fouled back to the screen.
That's a look. Yeah. Good pickup.
Bottom of the fourth inning, 2-run game, and Granderson batting in the number 2 spot. Is being tested by Lester. Lester saying, come on, get out of there. I'm not ready. Now he is. 2-2 pitch. Got him on the inside corner, 1 away, and strikeout number 3.
That was a cut fastball over the inside part of the plate. Granderson gives up on it, but home plate umpire Tom Hallian doesn't.
Ken Rosenthal is with us, as we've heard from him a couple of times, and we'll hear from him here in the bottom of the fourth, and we'll visit with Joe Girardi during the break. With 1 out, here's Teixeira. Strike 1 over the outside corner, and Kenny, you talked to Ben Sherrington, who had some interesting thoughts about John Lester's struggles.
He did, Joe, and Ben Sherrington made a point of saying that the Red Sox stand firmly behind John Lester. And what he said was that the Red Sox are at their best as an organization when they rally behind struggling players, help them through difficult times. Sherrington also mentioned 3 recent examples of this. David Ortiz, April 2010, Dustin Pedroia when he came up as a rookie, and Josh Beckett when he came over in the trade from the then Florida Marlins. Clearly, Sherrington wants Lester to enjoy the same type of support.
2 balls and a strike as Lester has retired the leadoff man in this inning. Beckett's back on that list of guys that want to stand behind somebody. They're going to have to stand behind Beckett because he is struggling here in 2012. That's outside, 3-1. Beckett's been on the DL with a bad shoulder, and I don't know how healthy he is as he's come back off the DL and trying to pitch through it. That's up the middle, 1-out base hit. And Teixeira is on with Cano coming up.
Yeah, with John Lester, it's more the mental part of it and trying to regain that confidence he has more than it is his physical thing. I talked to Bob McClure before the game, and it's almost like a hitter who takes too long a stride. Bob McClure is saying that John Lester too much of a loop in that right leg and getting the ball to home plate. It's almost like he takes too long to get it there. So the direct to the plate is the approach that Bob has been talking to Lester about, and today it's been working.
Cano now represents the tying run. Start of the day, 5th in the AL with his .320 average. He lined out to center his first time. Hit Lester hard in that at bat, and he gets a good rip here, strike 1. Since we know Ken Rosenthal talked to Ben Sherrington, the GM of the Red Sox, we should ask him his opinion. Rosenthal's opinion on what the Red Sox will do with the trading deadline approaching on Tuesday.
Well, it's interesting, Joe. They don't really know. And Ben Sherrington mentioned that they're in an unfamiliar position. And the way they've played, it's difficult for them to justify all-out buying, giving up prospects for a top starting pitcher. And at the same time, they are not the kind of team that sells traditionally. They're always in it. They're still in the wild card race to some extent. And some people feel that they can still get hot and make some noise in this race. So I don't know exactly what they're going to do. They've got some bullpen parts, some outfielders that they could move in kind of a sell mode. But in terms of buying, that's the real question.
Thanks, Kenny. 1 on, 1 out, nothing, and 2 on Cano. Lester's 0-2 is outside. Andrew Jones is on deck. But right now it's Cano after the 1-out hit by Teixeira. High and tight, 2-2.
Talked about John Lester and his confidence as a pitcher. Teams go in through that lack of confidence too. With the New York Yankees, they have that feeling that they'll find a way to win. other teams, and I'm not saying the Red Sox are like that, but they had that feeling that regardless of what we'll do, we'll find a way to lose. They're not like that yet, but they could be if they continue to play the way they've been playing.
That's high from Lester in a full count. It was 0-2, now 3-2. Well, starting the season without their closer and Andrew Bailey was a tough way to begin.
That hurt.
And it reshuffled everything down there. It made Aceves, who struggled the first 3 weeks of the season, then since has been pretty reliable for Bobby Valentine and part of a bullpen he likes. Here's a 3-2. Shattered bat, dangerous, and a line drive caught for out number 2. And the double play at first with Teixeira running for out number 3. We go into the 5th. We'll have a chance to visit with Joe Girardi after Lester caught the line drive, turned it into a double play. 3-1 Boston. Fifth inning of a game that started 2 hours after it was supposed to. 3-1. The Red Sox got 3 in the first. The Yankees got 1 in the third. We just visited with Joe Girardi. We'll give you that interview after Nava does something to start the inning. He starts his at bat with a strike. Daniel struck out his first time up. Sabathia struck out 4, walked 1. All the hits were in the first inning. 3 runs on 4 hits. Nava, then Ellsbury, then Siriaco. Just a little high. 1 ball, 1 strike. Yankees coming off a road trip where they were swept by Oakland 4 straight. Then they won 2 of 3 at Seattle. 1 last night. 8.5 games up in the AL East. That's low. The count 2-1. So they have the advantage of having a cushion while they work Jabba Chamberlain back in maybe this upcoming week. as we'll hear from Joe Girardi, and eventually they'll get Andy Pettitte back. Alex Rodriguez as well. Here's a 2-1. Left side for Jeter. One out. Here's Joe Girardi. First question was about if something clicked with Sabathia after that long, rough first inning.
Yeah, it looked like the first inning he got a few balls out over the plate, and they took advantage of that. But since then, he seemed to settle down pretty good and some pretty good rhythm.
Hey, tell us about what having Ichiro means to you as manager of the Yankees and what he allows you guys to do.
Well, it's just another guy that's probably going to go in the Hall of Fame that I'm fortunate enough to get to manage. I mean, what he's meant to the town of Seattle for so many years, and to have him here, and it gives us a speed element that we've been kind of lacking this year with the injury to Gardner, and that should help us.
Yeah, and I know you were frustrated not having Gardner. I don't know if people understand just how big of a piece for you he was in your lineup.
Yeah, I mean, he was the one guy that could really create runs all by himself, and he played a Gold Glove caliber type of left field for us, and we haven't had that but for about 6 or 7 games this year, and we've really missed him.
Hey, when do you get Jabba Chamberlain back?
You know, he's supposed to throw in a game tomorrow, and then we'll continue to just monitor how he's doing, but he's doing pretty good, and it should be sometime sooner than later, I would hope, if everything continues to go well.
By the way, you did a good job being seen around those bat boys in the on-deck circle.
Well, thank you.
We appreciate that very much.
Thank you.
Thanks,
they got to get a little TV time.
Thanks. 0-2 on Jacoby Ellsbury, who's 0 for 2 this evening. A strikeout, a ground out. One out, bases empty after Nava grounded to Jeter, and now just reaching for it and spoiling the pitch is Ellsbury, still 0-2.
You think about Ellsbury's at bats as you see Siriaco on deck, but Ellsbury struck out his first at bat, and on an 0-2 pitch just put his bat out there and punched one toward third, and after that last swing, you realize that CC Sabathia has given him fits tonight. Now back inside.
And missing for ball one. You also think about Ellsbury and what the Red Sox were missing when he went down in the home opener. I mean, this is a guy who hit 32 home runs last year, stole 39 bases, scored 119 runs, and drove home 105. Spoiled the pitch again.
Runner-up MVP last year.
At the dislocated right shoulder. And look at the difference from last year to this year and where the Red Sox rank, and still, despite the struggles in being under 500, Boston has the 5th best team batting average. They've actually scored more runs than the Yankees have this season. Here's a 1-2. Got him on the inside corner. Strikeout number 5 for Sabathia.
This curveball stays inside, and Sabathia continues to give Ellsbury fits tonight.
So with 2 out, nobody on, here is Siriaco. Line to single into right, and fly to center is next time up. Talk about a presence that's missing with Ortiz out as the DH for the Red Sox. Here's another hit for Siriaco. He's done a nice job, but the power just isn't there. Ortiz is a DH this year. He's hit 20 home runs. The other DHs the Red Sox have employed have hit 0 and driven in 1 run.
Yeah, the timing for the Red Sox this year really poor. I mean, Crawford comes back, Ellsbury comes back, and then Ortiz isn't there. Trying to get everybody healthy at the same time, a very difficult job for Bobby Valentine this year.
Dustin Pedroia will dig his way in 1 for 2 and batting with a runner at first, 2 down. The Yankees in the bottom of this 5th will have Andrew Jones, Jason Nix, and Russell Martin. Pedroia takes the ball.
Siriaco ready to run it at first base. If he gets a jump, he's gone. With 2 out, good time to do it.
Here's a 1-0. in for a strike, a ball and a strike. On deck, Adrian Gonzalez. This Boston franchise has had a winning record each of the last 14 years. So you have to go back to 1997 to find the last time they finished under 500. 2 games under at the moment. Here's a 1-1 instead, a check on Siriaco. As Chris Stewart, the catcher, looks into the dugout, checking with Girardi or Rothschild for what they want to do with a 1-1 count. A runner at first, 2 out, and a guy that Tim has already identified as somebody who wants to run. Breaking ball, big swing, strike 2.
We said in the scouting report earlier that CC was not throwing his breaking ball as much this year. I think this is one game where he's throwing it more than he has lately.
There goes Siriaco. The pitch is up, throw down. Safe. And Siriaco steals second with 2 out.
And slid to the right part of the bag. Cano makes as quick a tag as he can. Stewart with a very quick throw behind home plate. And Siriaco in there. Outside part of the bag. Nicely done. 6th steal without being caught.
So now the Red Sox can get their original 3-run lead back. If Pedroia can find a base hit with 2 out. 2-2 pitch. Full count. There's Dave Magadan, longtime New York Met, and now a longtime hitting coach for the Red Sox. Retained after the firing of Terry Francona, who was in the clubhouse earlier today for the Red Sox. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Runner at second, 2 out. That's outside. 2 on, 2 out. Second walk issued by Sabathia. And it will bring in the left-handed hitting Adrian Gonzalez, who doubled home a run back in the first inning, and at the time we mentioned he has the top average in the big leagues with runners in scoring position. He's got one out there now. Hitting the ball with much more authority since the 3rd week of June. It's been a good month. And he gets under one into right. Back at the track. At the wall. Gone. 3-run home run for Adrian Gonzalez, and a 3-run shot makes it 6-1 Red Sox here in the 5th. And what a July it's been for the Red Sox slugging first baseman. He's made it a 5-run game here at Yankee Stadium.
Not every breaking ball that goes a long way is a hanger, but this one is a hanging curveball. Walloped to right center field. As high as it was far, and the Red Sox extend their lead.
And it came off the bat of a guy that through the 22nd of June, Adrian Gonzalez was hitting just .256 and slugging under .400. It's been a big turnaround. Now base hit to left by Cody Ross keeps the top of the 5th inning going. Gonzalez, since that 3rd week of June, hitting .372 coming into today. He's 2 for 3 today and slugging over .520. And he's added to that with a double and a homer. Here comes a visit from Larry Rothschild, the pitching coach. to Sabathia, who's got to be frustrated with how this game has unfolded. Visit MLB.com/fan guide to register for a chance to win a VIP experience for two to a 2012 World Series game. It's presented by Scott's, the official lawn care company of MLB. Now Middlebrooks with 1 on, 2 out, and 3 runs home. Ball 1 outside. Middlebrooks at the plate with a 1-1 count as a 2-run double and a walk. A walk helped extend this inning. It's something the Red Sox have done less of here in 2012. Not as patient a lineup as they used to rely upon, with guys like J.D. Drew, Euclid, certainly Manny Ramirez, even Jason Bay when he was in a Boston Red Sox uniform, but a lot less being judicious with what pitch they offer at, and it's slowed the attack of the Red Sox here in 2012.
That's what happens also, Joe, when you're losing. It makes hitters want to hurry their swing, and that means you start swinging at a lot of bad balls instead of taking those pitches and waiting for the pitcher to throw your pitch.
2-2 the count on Middlebrooks. And after settling into this game after a long first inning, it's been a 3-run fifth. The 2-2. That's into right. Ichiro is there, and that ends the inning, but not before Adrian Gonzalez does that to make it 6-1. Red Sox on top after 5.5 at Yankee Stadium. Is sponsored by Chevrolet. Chevrolet has that feeling back. Feel it too with Chevy confidence. Bottom of the 5th inning rolls in at Yankee Stadium, and John Lester has his biggest lead of the game. It's a 5-run lead, 6-1. And Adrian Gonzalez has driven in 4 of the 6. A smile on the face of Andrew Jones. As he leads it off for the Yankees, down 5. That's a little bit low. It's 2-0. Since the 22nd of June, 20 games, Andrew Jones has popped 6 home runs and driven in 14. He takes ball 3. See if Lester can get through this 5th inning without any damage being done after his teammates just put up 3 more. A 4-pitch walk starts the inning. And it's that time of year. The NFL is back, and Fox's preseason coverage begins on Thursday, August 16th, as the Bengals take on Matt Ryan and the Falcons. Then on Friday, August 17th, Matthew Stafford and the Lions head to Baltimore to square off against Ray Lewis and the Ravens. Coverage of both games begins at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, only on Fox. And then later in the month, it'll be Peyton Manning and the Denver Broncos taking on a team that came oh so close last year, the San Francisco 49ers, the 3rd week of August.
Ray Lewis's, what, 14th year?
Yeah,
something like that?
His career has been incredible. 1 on, nobody out, and there's a strike finally from John Lester to Jason Nix. And Ray Lewis can still play. After the first walk of the game, Jason Nix, who struck out and who has 2 career homers against John Lester, waits for the 0-1. That's ball 1. So here's a guy, John Lester, who's just dying for a win. 5-8. Gonzalez home run just put him up 5, and he's trying to get through the 5th, and he looks a little tentative trying to throw strikes here. 5 of the first 6 pitches of the inning have been out of the strike zone. Needs to dial it back in, and he can't there. Just missed. It's 2-1.
That's after being given a 5-run lead.
The DH, Russell Martin, on deck. Nix can look for a pitch to hammer here with a count 2-1. And he flies it into right. Well hit. Back at the wall. It is gone. A 2-run shot to make it a 3-run game as Jason Nix gets home run number 4.
Joe, we've talked about it so many times. It's often not the walk, but it's what the pitcher does after the walk. 6 of the first 7 pitches were balls. A 2-1 cookie to Jason Nix, and a 2-run home run on the end of it. Big league hitters know what's coming. It's a lot easier to hit. He knew he was going to get the fastball, got it, ripped it.
So a 6-3 game, and now Russell Martin with nobody on or out. 2 runs home. Up there, swinging, strike 1. That's the 21st home run hit this season by the Yankees against the Red Sox, and this is only the 8th game. That's down and away. Meanwhile, there's more drama brewing after a meeting with the media before the game with Bobby Valentine. We'll talk to Ken Rosenthal during this inning. Go through the specifics. That's low, and this looks like a different John Lester than we saw the first 4 innings. It's 2-1. Little meeting on the mound as Pedroia, I think, senses that and comes over and says something to Lester, who is trying to get it back together with a count 2-1 on Martin. Ichiro on deck, then Chris Stewart, bottom part of the lineup. Good fastball there, 2-2. The next from Lester, outside, a full count. Three-two from the left-hander is outside. A second walk of the inning. Still nobody out.
Lester wanted that fastball. Thought it was on the outside part of the plate. But when you're missing as much as he's been missing this inning, you're not going to get those pitches.
So Bob McClure, the pitching coach, comes out. We'll show you that last pitch that barely missed over the outside part. Went around the plate. And we'll check in with Ken Rosenthal. And Kenny, the comment was regarding the use of Carl Crawford, who's not in the lineup. Might not have been anyway with the lefty Sabathia on the mound for the Yankees. But then a comment followed by Bobby Valentine. Take us through it.
Well, Crawford has great numbers against Sabathia. Yet Valentine said he was not in the lineup today because he was instructed not to play him more than 4 days in a row by the team's medical staff. Crawford has the elbow injury. He's had other physical problems. Bobby said earlier he had disregarded that rule, that it was a managerial no-no, and that it wouldn't happen again. But I'm told that there was no hard and fast rule, that there was simply a general discussion about Crawford needing a day off once in a while. And the upshot of this was that Crawford was quite upset not to be in there today.
All right, Ken, thanks. As Ichiro digs in, he takes a strike over the outside corner from Lester.
But just judging from the way Carl Crawford was swinging the bat last night, he was not swinging the bat well. Rear end out, punching the ball toward left field.
That was against Phil Hughes. Here's the 0-1. Line drive, base hit into left, and the Yankees making noise here in the fifth.
Again, we said it a couple of innings ago, regardless of the score, they never seem to be behind. Fastball to Ichiro, so nobody out here in the fifth inning.
And this lineup is about to turn back over, and because of that, there's action for the Red Sox out in their bullpen. That's Junichi Tozawa, who's been a nice find for Boston. But here's Lester, 0-3 in his last 3 starts, given a 5-run lead. Now it's a 3-run lead. And Stewart, who has a home run in this game, 4 in his big league career, steps in. Way high, ball 1 as he showed bunt after doing this his first time up. His first Yankee home run. That made it 3-1. Now it's 6-3.
This may seem like an unusual move by Joe Girardi because he homered his last at bat, but this makes a lot of sense to me. You're pushing 2 runners up in a 6-3 game. If you get it down.
And he does. Runners advance to second and third, 1 out. You're only in the fifth. You're down by 3, and now you've got Jeter coming up. Good bunt by Stewart.
Yeah, you've got your more experienced RBI guys at the top of the lineup. So a good bunt by Stewart, making Middlebrooks field the ball. And now even more heat on Lester.
Franklin Morales gets loose, a left-hander who was good when he got a chance to start for the Red Sox this season. Here's Jeter. He's hit 8 home runs on the season. The home run ball has eluded him of late. He's got 128 hits on the season, second highest total in the American League. Jammed him. That'll score a run. It's a 2-run game and an RBI for Jeter, number 29. That scores Martin and sends Ichiro over to third. 2 out here in the 5th. And now Granderson steps in representing the tying run. Jeter got a run home, was obviously looking for more, and now the battle between Lester and Granderson. Ball 1. Highest pitch total by inning coming here in the 5th. 2 walks, a home run, a hit, a bunt, an RBI groundout. Granderson was trying to tie it. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Was he ever? High fastball, he misses it.
Ball 2. The 2-1. 2-2. Granderson with 69 home runs since the start of last year. That's the 2nd highest total. Jose Bautista of the Blue Jays, he has 1 more with 70. He's on the DL. Granderson's at the plate. 2-2 pitch. Inning over and a strikeout for Lester as the Red Sox got 3 in the top half. The Yankees get 3 in the bottom half. And these two back at it. Yankees and Red Sox, 6-4 Boston. By the all-new Dodge Dart. Dodge, new rules. and by Share Everything. It's the plan that revolves around you, only from Verizon. 6th inning, and it's turned into a better game after 3 in the top of the 5th, 3 in the bottom of the 5th. The 2 starters still in the ball game, and Shopik, Aviles, and Nava, the bottom 3 in the lineup for the Red Sox, will bat. 6-4 Boston. Ball 1 from Sabathia.
Both starters trying to survive the 6th, and then it will be up to the bullpen, one would imagine.
Shopik has career slugging percentage of over .530 and 35 at bats against Sabathia. Reason why he's in there today, and the count is now 2-0.
Remember that game we did down in St. Petersburg against Tampa Bay a couple of years ago, and Kelly Shopik broke up the no-hitter with 2 out and nobody on in the 8th inning. He at the time was playing for the Tampa Bay Rays.
Count goes to 2-1.
I think that was a mid-April game.
It was our first game of the year.
Yeah.
Almost walked right into a no-hitter.
Yep.
Two balls and a strike on Shopik. That's inside. 3-1. Shopik is struck out, bounced into a force out. It was Saltalamacchia, the more everyday type catcher for the Red Sox, having a good year with 19 home runs. Shopik was swinging for his 6th, and now it's Cano, Teixeira, and Teixeira and Cano almost collided. And by the way, you know, Teixeira has been dealing with that bronchial situation, and I talked to him about it. He has a nerve issue that affects his vocal cord. And when we talked about it a few weeks ago, he said the one thing that I'm having trouble doing is direct a defense and call for pop-ups or yell over to third base because he can't be heard.
Sure, that's clearly the case in that situation.
That ball was drifting. Those two came together, and Teixeira made the catch on the pop-up. 1 away. It is 8 o'clock straight up, and we'll give you a summary in a minute. As Aviles waits for a 1-0. That's in at the knees, a ball and a strike. Aviles trying to get on here in the 6th inning. He could not hold up. Foul tipped it. It's strike 2. Those of you who watched the first 5 innings of that Dodger-Giants game out in San Francisco, the Dodgers won that ball game 10-0, and they are now a game out behind San Francisco in the NL West. Here's a 1-2. Check swing foul. Matt Kemp had a home run, 4 RBIs in that game. Hanley Ramirez was right in the middle of it again. He had a 3 RBI game after winning last night's game with a home run in extra innings. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Mike Aviles, pick up at the deadline last year from Kansas City. He takes ball 2.
Red Sox know all about Hanley Ramirez. He signed originally with the Red Sox and eventually went to Florida, and the trade made this week by the Dodgers for Ramirez.
2-2 pitch is high, a full count. Ramirez was traded to the Marlins, and the big piece of the puzzle the Red Sox got coming their direction was Josh Beckett and Mike Lowell. third baseman who was so good.
What a career Mike Lowell had.
With one out, nobody on. Sabathia's lost the advantage. Full count pitch and a foul back as Avila's trying to hammer that high delivery. I'm going to say it anyway because our producer Pete Majeska said it in my ear. This is pitch number 99 coming for CC Sabathia.
All right.
Just in case you wanted to know. One out, nobody on. 3-2 pitch. Got him on the outside corner, 2 out. And pitch number 99 gives Sabathia strikeout number 6.
Well, Mike thought it was outside, a two-seam fastball. Yeah, it's right there. Tom Halley in the big plate tonight.
Here is our Jeep game summary, and you can see in the background the skies darkening, then all the rain. We saw the sun pop out. Adrian Gonzalez has had a big game. Jason Nix a shot. And now Cody Epley gets loose. 2 home runs in this game for the Yankees. It's a 6-4 ball game. Here's Nava. That's low, ball 1.
Concerning that pitch count, Mr. B, it's getting to the point where even in Little League, when Little Johnny goes home, and we've kidded about this before.
You tell him Little Johnny jokes over there?
Well, no, not Little Johnny jokes, but the father is saying, Little Johnny, what was your pitch count today? Instead of, did you win the game? Winning and losing has taken a back seat to pitch count, to the dismay of some baseball people, including me.
I like it when you get very
incensed.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's fun. It
Yes.
makes it brings the broadcast alive. Here's a 1-1 pitch with 2 out, nobody on. It's a changeup, I believe, from Sabathia. Either way, Nava was out in front of it. The count 1-2.
That was a good changeup from Sabathia. And you can see it right there. Good pitch.
Been a long day for these fans. They've been here packed in since about 3 o'clock. Ground ball, base hit off the bat of Nava. That keeps the top of the 6th inning alive. So we're playing after 8 o'clock in the East. And in a 6-4 game, it's 1 on, 2 out, and it's starting to rain again. This is an official game, obviously, through 5. And it's just starting to sprinkle, but some dark clouds are rolling in from that area that got awfully dark about 5 o'clock, maybe 5:30. Ellsbury now has not had a good night. 0 for 3. A check on the runner Nava, who has stolen 3, not been caught.
Ellsbury has been victimized by Sabathia's best pitches tonight.
Cano to his right makes the play, and that sends us into the bottom of the 6th. 6-4. It's the Red Sox on top. Teixeira, Cano, and Andrew Jones coming up. Bottom half, 6-4 Boston on top. Coming into this game, Red Sox with the most home runs since 1997. They lead the MLB teams in home runs this season. They've hit the most in franchise history through 99 games, and they have the highest percentage of runs scored via the home run ball, 52%. And in this game, 3 of their 4 runs have scored on shots. 1 by Stewart, 2-run shot by Nix. Here's the 0-1. That's foul and caught by McKelleher. 0-2. And then tonight, Stewart with the first. Nix, a 2-1 pitch, sent it out to right. Fill in for Alex Rodriguez in a platoon situation with Eric Chavez with a home run in this game. That breaking ball is over but low, but a good pitch from Lester, ball 1. Now David Phelps, the right-hander, the rookie right-hander, getting loose for the Yankees in their pen. Here's a 1-2. A strikeout is the 5th of the night for John Lester. 1 away in the 6th.
That cut fastball had some action on it. Out of the strike zone, down and in. You don't see Mark Teixeira swing at too many balls out of the strike zone with 2 strikes. Good cutter from Lester.
Teixeira 1 for 3, and the batter will be Cano. Robinson is 0 for 2. He's lined to center. Then a soft liner back to Lester at the start of a double play.
Lester has pitched Cano inside to get him out both times. Won a broken bat shot for a double play his last time up.
Franklin Morales, the left-hander, still getting loose, and now Matt Albers, the right-hander, has joined him as Tazawa has taken a seat. Good pitch inside on Cano. 1 ball, 1 strike. Red Sox want to see more of that from John Lester.
We mentioned it earlier, those pitches up in the strike zone. Bobby Valentine trying to encourage Lester to do that more often.
Now the count 2-1. With 1 out, nobody on, Cano chops it foul at the plate. 2-2. 69 degrees at the start of the night. With all this rain in the area, there's been a break in all the hot temperatures. It is anything but cool throughout the Midwest, and they are yearning for rain like this. Here is a 2-2. A strikeout of Cano. Back-to-back strikeouts for Lester, and 3 in a row going back to the 5th. 6 on the night, 2 out, nobody on. It'll bring in Andrew Jones. Jones has walked and scored and popped up. The rain, which had started again, stops. And Lester now at 1,000 career strikeouts. Bounces it in there to Andrew Jones, ball 1.
John Lester, 28 years old, 1,000 strikeouts right now to a successful pitcher, Nolan Ryan, with over 5,700. It's a lot of strikeouts. Oh. Just to put things in proper perspective, Nolan Ryan, the all-time strikeout king, with over 5,700 strikeouts.
2-0 the count from Lester. Danger pitch to Jones, who fouls it back. And he was swinging for home run number 13. Again, the addition of Ichiro allows more bench time and therefore more rest for Andrew Jones and Raul Ibanez down the stretch for the Yankees. They played a lot and a lot more than they expected, and the Yankees expected them to. And now the count 2-2. Lester could strike out the side. Be a nice comeback after a rough fifth, when the Yankees sent 7 men to the plate and scored 3 runs on 2 hits. The 2-2. Full count. Just so you're kept up to date, Tim, this will be pitch number 100 for John Lester. What's it going to be on 3-2? Fouled right side. 94 miles per hour from Lester. That's as hard as he's thrown all night.
Yeah, he has reached back here in the 6th inning. He has made good pitches on Teixeira, that cutter out of the strike zone, striking out Cano on the high fastball, and maintaining that speed to Jones.
Fly ball into left. In comes Nava. Out goes Aviles. He wants it. He has it. And a perfect 1-2-3 inning for John Lester, who is on top after 6. 6-4 back after New York after a word from your local Fox station. Presented by Budweiser as we get into the 7th inning, a 6-4 game. And John Lester, I think, impressed his teammates with that bounce back inning. A perfect 6th with 2 strikeouts and a fly ball, maintaining a 2-run lead. And now it's into the bullpen for the Yankees is David Phelps, who was a big winner in the minor leagues as a starter, and has been good since being recalled 5 1/3 perfect innings with 9 strikeouts and 3 relief appearances since being recalled in the middle of July. Breaking ball misses, ball one. He made a start. Phelps did against Tampa Bay. And in talking to Joe Girardi before the game, he said Phelps projects as a starter next year with that good stuff for the Yankees. So he's got an opportunity, but here in 2012 will work out of the bullpen.
From St. Louis, and his first relief outing that we saw him this year, he held Albert Pujols to 0 for 3. Very proud of that. And you folks who are fans of the Olympiad now being held in London, a chance for you to direct your attention from Michael Phelps to David Phelps for about 15 minutes.
And Pedro Siriaco is in the hole 1 and 2. Just got a piece of it. Pedroia will follow, and then Adrian Gonzalez. Line drive into right. Ichiro to his right. 1 out. Miguel Cabrera, Brandon Phillips, David Price, Justin Verlander are among the more than 100 players, including more than 60 current MLB players, to visit the Fan Cave this season. It's also hosted over 24 concerts, celebrity guests, including Charlie Sheen, Adam Lambert, The Fray. Watch MLB Fan Cave player videos and stay up to date on the latest cave happenings by visiting MLBFanCave.com. Follow at MLB Fan Cave on Twitter. And like the MLB Fan Cave on Facebook. Strike one on Pedroia with 1 out, nobody on. Along with our producer Pete Macheska, our director Bill Webb, Jonathan Evans punching all the right buttons down there in the truck. He punched the button that shows you the ground out to first off the bat of Pedroia, who was jammed 2 out. And Matt Albers, it looks like, is getting ready to come into this ball game in the bottom of the inning, and they'll deal with Nix, Martin, and Suzuki. And a chance possibly for Girardi to go to his bench with Ibanez on the bench, Chavez on the bench. Here's Adrian Gonzalez, who's driven in 4 of the 6 for the Red Sox tonight. Strike one. Gonzalez with an RBI double, a run scored in the first, and a 3-run home run. Right now the biggest swing of the night, his last time up, and he flies this one into left, slicing into the corner, foul, strike 2.
That's the one thing that a young pitcher should be encouraged to do in a ballpark where it's easy to hit home runs, is pitch inside. He pitched Pedroia inside. He pitched Adrian Gonzalez inside. Tells you a lot about the confidence and courage of a young guy like Phelps.
And he's got the stuff.
Yes, sir.
Nice for Lester to, after 3 real rough outings, have a chance to smile here tonight. Appears he'll leave for getting over 100 pitches and leading by at least 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Gonzalez now with 10 home runs. Had a big rip there. 94 from Phelps. Still 2-2.
You can see with the right-hander Phelps in there now. Dave Magadan left your screen talking to Jared Saltalamacchia about the possibility of being ready either in this inning or the 8th inning to pinch hit for Kelly Shopping. Good hitting coaches plan ahead.
Saltalamacchia, who started this game on the bench with 19 home runs. That's the most by any catcher across baseball this season. 3-2 pitch. Got him off balance, but this one's driven into the gap, and there's Ichiro with a nice catch and a slide at the end of it for out number 3. He's 38, but he can still pick him up, put him down, and cover ground. Let's go to the bottom of the 7th. Time to stretch on a rainy night in New York. Yankees coming to bat, down by 2. Michelin, a better way forward. And by Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Time now for the Just for Men Keep Your Edge spotlight. It's the big swing of the game so far. 3-run shot by Adrian Gonzalez in the top of the 5th inning made it a 6-1 game at the time. And just as Adrian gives the Red Sox an edge, you can keep your edge with Just for Men mustache and beard. Here's Matt Albers. He takes over for John Lester, who goes 6, struck out 6, allowed 4 runs on just 4 hits. All the runs earned, and now Albers. This is a Red Sox team that has a bullpen combined ERA of 3.16 compared to just under 5 for the starting rotation. So this has been a strength. And that's not the only guy we'll see. Andrew Miller is getting loose, as is Vicente Padilla. However, look at what the Yankees have done against the Red Sox bullpen this season. A lot of the damage that Saturday game when the Yankees came roaring back after a start by Felix Doubront, as Eric Chavez will lead it off. Remember that game that was 9-0 Boston, won by the Yankees 15-9. And seemingly from that moment on, this Red Sox bullpen really improved. Soriano's just tossing in the bullpen to get the arm loose, but not preparing to come into the ball game at the moment. He's the closer for the Yankees, and a 95-mile-per-hour fastball for a strike on Chavez. Eric was hit by a pitch last night by Melanson. That happened in the 8th inning last night prior to the grand slam hit by Granderson. Yankees already lost this week. Alex Rodriguez, and he was hit by a pitch on the left hand. Chavez is okay the next night. Here's a 1-1. Popped up on the infield, and it's Aviles, the shortstop. 1 out. That'll bring in Russell Martin. With Ichiro on deck. So Albers comes out of the bullpen, gets the lead man, and now Russell Martin takes the ball. Russell tonight has walked and scored fly to right. Short bench for Joe Girardi if he doesn't want to use Nick Swisher. He didn't want him to start. And if that's the case, then only 2 remain, Ibanez and Ramiro Pena. We could see Ibanez before the end of the night.
Yeah, with that hip flexor problem, it's tough to have a guy as tightly wound as Nick Swisher to pinch hit, because trying to leg out an infield hit or something like that could re-injure that.
Count's gone to 3-0 on Martin. With 1 out and the base is empty, there's a strike from Albers. It's up to the Red Sox bullpen in a game they need at Yankee Stadium, starting the night 11.5 games out and last in the AL East. 2 games under 500.
Crucial is not important enough for the Red Sox tonight.
Here's a 3-1. That's a strike, a full count. Albers has put together 2 good years with the Red Sox, from a workhorse for the Orioles. Here's 3-2 off the hands, backing out of play. 96 from Matt Albers. One out, nobody on. 3-2 pitch again. Fouled again off the bat of Russell Martin. Albers had a 9-game scoreless stretch. It was snapped on Wednesday at Texas. And Nelson Cruz took him deep in a series the Rangers won, winning 2 of 3. Here's another 3-2 pitch. And another foul ball out of play. Here is a 3-2 again from Albers, and a strikeout, 2 gone. 95 from the Boston right-hander, 2 out in the 7th.
Good job by Albers after falling behind 3 balls and no strikes to come back and get Russell Martin.
Brings in Ichiro, who wore 51 in Seattle. That number belongs to the beloved Bernie Williams and hasn't been given out since he hung it up. When I see 31 in a Yankee uniform, I think of Dave Winfield. And that good fastball is a ball, pretty good pitch to Ichiro.
Dave Winfield, a tremendous athlete, 3 sports star at the University of Minnesota.
That's how to play left side. We've talked about it before when we've done Seattle games, and that is that Ichiro has incredible hand-eye coordination, and it's like
he has to hit like that.
He must.
Yeah.
like a master with a pool cue, being able to do with a pitch seemingly whatever he wants. Just trying to serve that one into left, and they always talk about his ability to hit home runs. That's not what he is, but he can hang over the plate and hook one using that hand-eye coordination and show off some power if he decides to go that way with a short right field here in his new home park. To the right side, easy play for Gonzalez, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Albers. That sends us to the 8th. It's a 2-run game at Yankee Stadium. Red Sox on top 6-4. Presented by Budweiser as Eric Chavez is in the game at third. He pinch hit for Jason Nix, and now he plays defense at third base. Cody Ross first up against David Phelps, who gets it by Ross's bat for strike one. Cody tonight 1 for 3. That was against Sabathia. CC, I never gave his line. 6 innings, 6 runs, all earned, 8 hits. 2 walks, 6 strikeouts, and a home run. One big swing by Adrian Gonzalez in the 5th. The 3-run shot is the difference in this game right now. 6-4 Boston, top of the 8th. Middlebrooks next, and then Shopik. The 1-1. 2-1. Phelps brings it, and he totally fooled Cody Ross. Strike 2.
Boy, that was a good, quick slider and a fastball count. An idea of what the Yankees think of this young man's future. Watch this ball drop out of nowhere.
The 2-2 is line foul. Phelps is 6'2", 200. There's Alfredo Aceves, the closer for the Red Sox, starting his pre-pitching routine. Phelps went to Notre Dame and He won 38 games, lost only 15 with an ERA of 2.61 in the minor leagues. He's got good stuff, and it moves. Strikeout is his first of the night, one out here in the 8th.
Coming back inside with a two-seam fastball. Boy, was that a perfect example of a tailing fastball in on the hands of Cody Ross.
It brings in Middlebrooks, who turned a 1-run first inning into a 3-run first inning with a 2-out 2-run double against Sabathia. 3 in the first for Boston, 3 in the 5th. 1 in the 3rd for the Yankees, and then 3 in the 5th for New York. 6-4. Strike 1 on Middlebrooks. Ball and a strike. Drainage system was tested here at Yankee Stadium as the Yankees play in this newer ballpark for their 4th year. Base hit by Middlebrooks. He's been hot. 1 on, 1 out, and the drainage really worked out in the outfield grass.
Excellent,
because it was a monsoon blowing through here for a while. 1 on, 1 out for Shopik. And this could have been a spot for Saltalamacchia if, and you mentioned it earlier, if Bobby Valentine wanted to go that way. Instead, he stays on the bench. And Shopik, who's got some pop, he's 0 for 3. He's got 5 home runs. He takes a rip. Now he takes a ball. If the Red Sox are in a sell mode at the deadline, which is Tuesday, a lot will depend on could, even though it seems silly to put more than usual importance on 2 games here at the end of July, but a lot could depend on what they do the rest of this series against the Yankees, winning tonight by 2 as we play in the 8th. But Shopik is a guy that could find his way to a club looking for a veteran catcher that can hit.
And give the Red Sox a chance to bring up Ryan Lavarnway, who's having a good year in Pawtucket.
Counts 2-0. And now Boone Logan gets loose. Good fastball, strike 1.
Think about it, Joe. The trading deadline used to be June 15th. And now has been moved to July 31st, and I think it's a much better gauge of whether teams are going to have a chance to be in the postseason with only 2 months left to go in the season as opposed to 3.5 months.
That's out of play. 2-2. Ken Rosenthal, what do you think? You like the trade deadline where it is, and how creative are these GMs going to get over the next couple of days?
I believe they will get creative, Joe. There's a lot of pent-up energy right now, especially among teams that have specific needs. And as for the date of the deadline, I still do like it, but there is some talk, some media talk really, about the idea of pushing it back, say, to August 15th, because the second wild card has so many teams in it. There would at least be a little separation if you waited a little bit longer.
There's strike 3 on Shopik, 2 out. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Phelps. With Aviles coming up.
Here's that two-seam fastball, this time outside, and he gets the call.
You know, we talked to Ken Rosenthal about the Boston side. Kenny, how about the Yankees side? And with the injury to Alex Rodriguez, is there anybody on the market that could be a stopgap and leave the other guys on the bench like Chavez and Jason Nix?
Well, Joe, they looked into Marco Scudero, who was traded to the Giants last night, and that is probably the type of player they will end up with, a role player. That's the type of player they've been adding at the deadline in recent years, and really it's the type of player that Ichiro is right now. Now, there is one guy, more of a premier third baseman, Chase Headley, that the Yankees are kind of working around the edges looking into, but they'd have to basically use him at third base for Alex over the next couple of months. and then move him to the outfield, perhaps for the duration of the time he'd have with the team, and he was not a good outfielder with the Padres.
Here's a 1-1 pitch. That's on the outside corner, strike 2. And Phelps could strike out the side here in the 8th. Joe Girardi telling us that Phelps is in the category of a pitcher he won't use on back-to-back days. He likes him against right-handers and left-handers. Almost got out of the inning there. 94 from the right-hander. 2-2.
Might use him on, or not use him on back-to-back days, but you would use him longer during one game, this being his second inning of work.
Check on the runner. That is Middlebrooks.
That's further signs also that they're developing Phelps to be a starter in the future for the Yankees.
The 2-2 pitch, he struck him out, and he got a 93-mile-per-hour fastball by the bat of Mike Aviles and struck out the side in the 8th. Continue on at Yankee Stadium, bottom half. New York coming up, down by 2. Sponsored by T-Mobile. Test drive our nationwide 4G network. And by Duracell. Trusted everywhere. Vicente Padilla takes over here in the 8th. And he will deal with a pinch hitter, Raul Ibanez, to bat for Stewart. And Ibanez will try to get something started here in the 8th. Then Jeter, then Granderson against Padilla. If anybody gets on, Teixeira. And Teixeira and Padilla have plenty of history. That's in at the knees, strike 1.
Fueled by the Yankees' last series in Boston.
So Stewart is lifted for the pinch hitter. The other catcher is already in the lineup. Russell Martin as the DH. And so
make him the catcher.
They're going to make him the catcher and lose the DH.
Yeah.
Here comes a 1-1. We're in the 8th, and that's ripped into right field for a base hit. short hop by Cody Ross in right, and that move by Girardi pays off.
It's worth it.
A leadoff hit to start the 8th inning off the bat of Ibanez. Good try by Ross.
And a good stop by Cody after the ball short hops him. So now it's Jeter hitting. And Ibanez on it at first base. Jeter representing the potential tying run.
Albers pitched a perfect 7th. Padilla gives up the leadoff hit. Now Jeter takes a strike over the outside corner, and Padilla has been around for a while. He still has good velocity. He has had the reputation, and it's certainly been talked about a lot by Mark Teixeira, being someone who will hit a lot of batters. .95 from Padilla, strike 2.
A two-seamer again. A lot of people think that because you have the mask on, those things don't hurt, but when they twist, they hurt. Kelly agreeing.
Jeter in this game has an RBI 0 for 3 in his career against Padilla. Look at the numbers, 6 for 14. He's the tying run at the plate. The 0-2. Nothing but fastballs so far for Jeter.
I'm a little surprised because of that 3 straight fastballs that the outfield for the Red Sox not swung around toward right field a little more. They're almost straight away. And Jeter, as everybody knows, with 2 strikes in particular, has more of a tendency to go to right field.
A 1-2 is just high. 2-2. And again, nothing but fastballs for Jeter, who has hit just 1 home run and has 4 RBIs in the last 31 games, including tonight.
Fastball away.
On 2-2. He got him over the outside part, 1 out, and Jeter doesn't agree with Tom Hallion, the crew chief, but he's the first out in the 8th.
That ball really moving, a 2-seam fastball. Watch it come back. Jeter thought it was outside. It could have been, but Padilla got the call. Tell you, Hallion has been that way all night. He's had a wide plate, strikes high and low, and it's been fair for both sides.
Granderson now 0 for 3. That was against Lester, facing the right-hander Padilla. 28 home runs for Granderson, trying to make it 29, trying to tie it down the line. It is foul. And that got a rise out of the fans here at Yankee Stadium, but it's just a long strike 1. A leadoff hit by Ibanez, and now the 0-1 with 1 out to Granderson. Ripped into right. It is foul. Strike 2.
Jabba Chamberlain enjoying things. He knew the first one was foul, but not the second one. This one a lot closer than the first one. It's hit so high, it's almost above the foul pole. Almost. Bobby Valentine with a little body language.
How about those 2 strikes off the bat of Granderson?
Man. About 800 feet of strikes right there.
Now the 0-2. Padilla gets him. 2 out in the inning, and despite those long foul balls, a strikeout for out number 2.
How about coming right back and throwing a fastball right down the pipe after those 2 fastballs were hit foul? Man.
And now these 2. Padilla and Mark Teixeira, who do not like each other at all.
Nope.
Mark Teixeira hit a home run in his first 2 at-bats against Padilla in 2005. When Mark was with Texas and Vicente was with Philadelphia. Then they became teammates at Texas, and while Padilla was hitting guys. Here's the first pitch. 96, a little something extra for Teixeira from Padilla. Padilla would hit guys, and the payback against the Rangers, because obviously pitchers don't hit in the American League, was to hit the best hitter on the Rangers, and that just happened to be Mark Teixeira. He went to Padilla and said, hey, cut it out. I'm getting popped. Teixeira took Padilla deep earlier this season at Fenway Park. If he does it here, he tied the game. 2-0 the count.
And add to their long list of grievances with one another.
Here's a 2-0. That little floater pitch from Padilla after nothing but fastballs, and it somehow drops in for a strike.
And if you're going to do that, you might as well do it with a 2-ball and no strike count.
Slow motion, that pitch almost went backward.
Unbelievable.
Now the 2-1. Ripped. He got him. Tie game. This game that was once 6-1, Boston is now 6-6.
After the 2-ball, no strike floater, the fastball, and Teixeira doesn't take that one.
That thing was pasted.
Ooh.
He went around the bases and never looked in Padilla's direction, almost with his head down.
Yep.
And that's it for Vicente. And this bullpen that's been good for Bobby Valentine lets the Red Sox down here in the 8th. Teixeira gets Padilla, and we're tied at 6. Against Padilla. Here's that 2-0 pitch.
That's the floater. And the 2-1 pitch floated to the stands to tie it.
And that's it for Padilla, who gives up the 2 runs on 2 hits. Banez, that move paid off for Joe Girardi. He led it off with a base hit. And you know that Mark Teixeira, who watched that thing sail out, some home runs, I would imagine, feel different than others. And that one to get Vicente Padilla, and these two had words after he beat Padilla. I'd said home run earlier. It was a triple on a Friday night at Fenway Park. Now he gets him not to win the ball game, but in this case to tie it in the 8th. And as Miller gets Cano on the ground ball, this game is now tied 6-6 as Teixeira rides one out in the Bronx. Tied at 6 as we go into the 9th inning, and a few changes. Russell Martin, the DH, is now in the game to catch, so the Yankees lose the DH. Raul Ibanez, who pinch hit and scored after getting a base hit, scored on the home run by Teixeira in the bottom of the 8th, is now in left, so he stays in the 9 spot. And the pitcher in this American League Park will bat in the number 5 spot, vacated by Andrew Jones, and that spot will lead off. So it works out well for Joe Girardi. It's a one and done for the closer for the Yankees, Rafael Soriano, who's been 26 of 28 in save chances, now in a tie game, trying to keep it that way, with Ryan Sweeney announced as a pinch hitter to bat for Nava. Nava 1 for 3 while he was in there. Sweeney takes a ball. Ryan Sweeney is so far in a Red Sox uniform homerless. Has not hit a home run since last July.
It's a lot of balls to left field.
A 1-0. 2-0 from Soriano.
We've talked about it before this year. Dave Magadan has said that on certain counts, like this one, 2 balls and no strikes, look for a ball inside, try to take advantage of the short porch in right field.
That's over the outside part. It's 2-1. Here's a 2-1 pitch. Hitting it the other way, foul. This is an interesting move to me that Sweeney is up there hitting in place of Daniel Nava, who has hit 4 home runs. Certainly not a slugger, but
batting .299 left-handed, and not nearly that high right-handed. I agree with you.
And Sweeney has only faced Soriano once, so there's no great history between the two. Pop-up, foul back and out of play. It'll be Sweeney, then Ellsbury, then Siriaco against Soriano here in the ninth.
Now Sweeney's a better defensive player, but you're not looking for defense right now. I mean, if Nava gets on base, ends up scoring a run, you could put Sweeney in for defense then.
That's in the air to left. A late break by Ibanez, but he's there, 1 out. And with the bases empty, the batter will be Ellsbury, who has 1 home run, hitting .259, and he is happy that Sabathia is out of there. 0 for 4 against CeCe, who is off the hook, and John Lester no longer in line for the win on this now night game here at Yankee Stadium, scheduled to start at just after 4 o'clock. 2-hour rain delay, and here we are at just after 9 o'clock, and that pitch is up and away, ball 1. Ellsbury certainly has enough pop to drill one out of here as he looks at a breaking ball that misses down and away. He mentioned the 32 home runs last year, his best year with the bat. Has 1 so far this season, and he can look for a pitch on 2-0. Ellsbury takes a strike. 2-0 fastball down the middle. Setting up away on 2-1, and that misses ball 3.
Same situation as 2 balls and no strikes with the count 3-1. Look for a ball to drive and try to put the Sox back on top.
But even just getting on with his speed and the ability to steal a base.
And Russell Martin with no chance to warm up. None behind the plate.
3 balls and a strike. 1 out, nobody on. A 1-out walk. And now the clock is ticking on Ellsbury. He was stolen just 1, but this is a spot to run.
Yep.
With Siriaco, the DH, walking in. Bobby Valentine has Saltalamacchia over on his bench. But if he can get a stolen base out of Ellsbury, he'll be in scoring position for Siriaco, who has 2 more hits tonight.
Soriano easy to run on, as are most successful closers.
So Sweeney's been used. Crawford's over there as well. There he goes, and a foul tip. Ellsbury had such a jump, he might not have had to slide.
Well, and a right-handed hitter sees the runner running. If it's a left-hander, you can understand him swinging, fouling a ball off. But when you see the jump, you've got to take the pitch. Siriaco didn't. Ellsbury retreats to first.
Count on 1, and now a check on Ellsbury. And And if he was running on that first pitch, he's going to try and get another jump and take off again. Soriano does not have a good keep Giannis pickoff move over to first.
As we said, most closers don't.
39 steals last season for Ellsbury. Got a jump and then stopped, showing bunt and pulling back from a ball is Siriaco.
That obviously would have been a bunt for a base hit. You don't show sacrifice with one out and a guy who can run at first base.
Ellsbury with a big lead. Stays put. Siriaco pops it up. Foul out of play. Strike two. Siriaco does not have a home run. As we mentioned before, the Red Sox do not have a home run from a DH this season not named Ortiz. He's hit 20. Now the 1-2. Fly ball into center. Granderson in and now back. Drifting, can't make the catch. Ellsbury will go for third and now come all the way around. A misplayed ball in center by Granderson, and the Red Sox take a 7-6 ninth inning lead.
It is rare that you see Curtis Granderson misplay a ball, but clearly misplays this ball hit by Siriaco. Ellsbury was at second base, just a matter of him to come home, and Siriaco right up his tail. Watch Ellsbury. He'll stop at second and see the play develop. Once he sees it over his head, easy decision to score. And Siriaco goes all the way to third base, and now the Yankees have to bring the infield in.
The reaction from Soriano. Now Pedroia could make it a 2-run lead and a strike. The reaction from Granderson, who was frozen for a moment, then lost his footing and did all he could, couldn't recover. So the Red Sox back on top. They have not trailed in this game as Pedroia is in the hole 0-2. That was a 94-mile-per-hour pitch, as hard as Soriano's thrown, and now Alfredo Aceves, the closer for the Red Sox, gets loose. A walk to Ellsbury and then the RBI triple, and that's what they've called it, on the ball that was misplayed by Granderson in center. Here's the 0-2. Pedroia pops it up, foul, and out of play. That's a big run sitting out there for Boston, trying to add to this lead with a pinch hitter, then Chavez, then Martin coming up for the Yankees in the bottom of this ninth. Infield in, 0-2 pitch is ripped into left field. Back is Ibanez, tagging and scoring is Siriaco. And it's an 8-6 Boston lead here in the ninth inning. Sac fly by Pedroia.
You know, a closer look at Curtis Granderson in center field shows him taking about a half step in, fooled on the ball, thinking he should charge it. That one step in, and now by the time he backpedals, Siriaco with power that Curtis did not think he had. And instead of out of the inning with no runs, the Red Sox so far have 2.
The reaction from Soriano, who gives up 2 now, and now base hit by Gonzalez, and he's as hot a hitter as you'll find anywhere. Adrian tonight with an RBI double, run scored, a 3-run shot, now a single. Cody Ross will be the hitter. And these are 2 huge runs scoring for the Red Sox, considering where they are in their season, considering how this game unfolded. A 6-1 lead with Lester on the mound, then 6-4, then 6-6. Bobby Valentine's crew back on top by 2 with 1 on 2 out here in the ninth. Here comes a 1-0. 2-0. Pedro Siriaco right in the middle of it again, getting a chance to DH. Bobby Valentine stayed with him. You can argue the ball could have or should have been caught, but he's now 10 for 18 against the Yankees this season. And that was a big RBI triple, later scoring on the sac fly by Pedroia. Here's a 2-1. 2-2. Ross tonight has a hit, 1 for 4. The 2-2 pitch struck him out. The inning is over, but 2 runs for the Red Sox, and it's Pedro Siriaco who hit it. Granderson struggled in center with it. 8-6 into the bottom of the ninth at Yankee Stadium. Left, Curtis Granderson, the center fielder, on the right. Siriaco hit it. Granderson could not handle it in center, and now a defensive change for the Red Sox as Cody Ross moves from right to left. That puts Ryan Sweeney in the game, who hit for Nava in right. And on the mound is Alfredo Aceves, former Yankee, a 1-6 record with 21 saves and 25 opportunities.
He got that 21st save in Texas on Tuesday night. He has finished more games than any other reliever in the major leagues.
He had that rough game on April 21st to Aceves against the Yankees at Fenway when New York got him for 5 runs and Aceves didn't get an out. He's been much better since then. However, he has lost 5 games. 21 of 25, and his first pitch is a breaking ball, a good one to Nick Swisher, who is getting the chance even with that strained hip flexor. Nick hurting it last Friday in Oakland. It's on his left side, and he isn't holding anything back. 96 from Aceves, strike 2. Chavez on deck, then Russell Martin. And Aceves getting the attention of his catcher Shopik. And now backing off as he's was talking to Shopik, and that drove Swisher out of the batter's box. 0-2 the count. Swisher batting for Soriano. Here's the 0-2. Inside, 97 from Aceves. Again, the closer for the Red Sox. Andrew Bailey is working his way back, throwing to hitters again today. Here's a 1-2. Inside again, 2-2. And Aceves turns his back. And that gets Tom Hallion, the home plate umpire, to take his mask off. And now Aceves is shouting at Hallion, which brings Pedroia over to try and close this situation up and calm down Aceves.
Aceves wanted that pitch, that 1-2 fastball, tailing fastball. That brought Hallion out. And that brought Aceves yelling at Hallion, and now Shopik. That was close.
Here's a 2-2 to Swisher. Got him swinging, 1 away.
Good breaking ball. So you had breaking ball, then 3 fastballs, and back to the breaking ball to get the pinch hitter, Nick Swisher.
Here's Chavez, second at bat of the night. Eric popped up his first time. Aceves trying to get save number 22. And he could be 1 out away. That's Gonzalez flipping to Aceves, 2 down. And in a game the Red Sox needed, and in a game that looked like it had all gotten away from Boston, Bobby Valentine's club is leading by 2 out in the 9th, trying to get to within 1 game of 500 and set up the rubber game tomorrow night. If Aceves gets the save, Andrew Miller, who came on to get 1 out, gets the win. And Rafael Soriano suffers his first loss of the season. Yankees down to their final out. Strike 1 on Russell Martin, who is 0 for 2 with a run scored tonight.
And if Martin can find his way on base, then representing the potential tying run would be Ichiro.
A misplayed ball in center. The Red Sox took advantage with 2 in the top of the inning. After the Yankees tied it in the 8th, and that could end it. Back is Ellsbury, and the Boston Red Sox get a win on a Saturday night, 8-6. As Aceves wraps it up, Miller gets the win in a game that started over 2 hours after it was supposed to because of rain. A 3-hour, 13-minute affair. And this game had just about everything in it.
It was a great game. It's the game, the type game that you're used to seeing these two teams play. But in this particular July 28th, the Red Sox had more at stake.
An 8.5 game lead in the division for the Yankees at the start of the day. The Boston Red Sox needing to pile up wins to try and make a move on that wild card board and move up the chain and get a little bit closer. Soriano gets the loss, and there's an updated look at the AL East, with the Yankees now an 8-game lead over the Baltimore Orioles, then Tampa Bay, then Toronto, and then come the Boston Red Sox. Give you now the Burger King Smooth play of the game, anything but smooth. And a ball that was mishandled and misplayed by Granderson in center. He went for the game-winning RBI triple. And an 8-6 win. Let's go down to the field.